I actually came here this morning to call out the racism that is inherent in the U.S. dietary guidelines.
And there was a real heaviness in the room. I think people really took note of that. I think there was some eyes popping like, whoa, he's going there. And it's like, yes, he absolutely is going there. So the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, reviews dietary guidelines for Americans every 5 years. So this in 2019 is their review period where they will then listen and assess and create new dietary guidelines for Americans and release them in 2020. So we were there to speak to the committee. It was about a 10-member committee. They had an open forum. You had to register to speak. I think hundreds, if not thousands of people registered to speak, and they ended up selecting 72 speakers. And so we went to speak on behalf of moving over to a plant-based diet. I specifically focused on dairy and removing dairy as a food group for humans from the dietary guidelines for 2020.
For athletes and non-athletes alike, the destructiveness of dairy is multi-layered.
Well, we had incredible docs and nutritionists on the plant-based side speaking loud and proud.
My patients are confused. They're confused by the guidelines, and they're confused by the discussions here, and they're confused by bad science.
We cannot allow the billion-dollar meat industry to continue to subvert the science when so many million lives are at stake.
So I ask you to look at the science very carefully.
This committee now has control over our number one killer.
One of the most outdated recommendations by the dietary guidelines is its commercially oriented push for Americans to consume dairy.
What was really incredible about this opportunity was that it does fall in the wake of a major breakthrough from Canada, our neighbors of the North, in removing dairy as a food group for humans from their dietary guidelines.
Canada's decision to remove milk from a prominent position in the Canadian Food Guide is a testament to that nation's ability to support and respect science and its multicultural population. America should be no less aware and no less accountable to all of its people.
It was highly motivating to get to speak to the committee on behalf of food injustice. I mean, when Susan Levin and I started discussing what I would talk about, we kind of were going in the direction more of enhanced performance and health because I'm an athlete, so that would be the obvious.
Cow's milk proteins, particularly casein, which makes up 80% of cow's milk, have been shown to increase mucus production in the gut and in the respiratory tract. Impaired breathing, asthma, and chronic runny nose can all be exacerbated by drinking cow's milk. By regularly consuming dairy products as a means of a recovery fuel, an athlete's acute inflammation and oxidative stress can become chronic, leading to prolonged recovery, muscle fatigue, cell damage, and even elevate one's risks of chronic diseases.